this tonight I'd say was a win. We got a lot of apples, a lot of bread, tons of flowers, which is my personal favorite. And bananas is like something that even if it's mushed down, like that's banana bread. So it's really...
My name is Katie Greenman. I'm 22 and I'm from South Florida originally.
Part of the reason why I do go to the dumpster is just because of the amount of waste and how much that kind of breaks my heart. And I feel like a lot of people...
Katie is a self-proclaimed freegan.
What is the freegan movement?
It's people living off of the excess that there is in America. So that's food, that's products, that's furniture, that's anything and everything, because we have so much of it. They live off of the stuff that gets thrown away.
According to the Department of Agriculture, roughly 1/3 of all food produced for human consumption is either lost or wasted globally.
How did you become involved in this movement?
I was definitely naturally tended to be very thrifty and dumpster diving, or I'd walk by like on trash night and pick up stuff, and I would do that on my own. And then last year, my senior year of college, somebody showed me this documentary about these people who lived out of the dumpsters, and I didn't know this was a thing, and it was called freeganism. So for about like 3 to 4 months, I didn't buy a single grocery, and I lived completely off of out of the dumpster.
What do you say to people who think that this is disgusting?
I encourage them to come over for dinner is what I do. And like the first great dive I had, I intentionally got like stuff to make a meal, and I had a meal that week, and it was potato gnocchi with marinara sauce and Parmesan cheese, a salad, and brownies. Every single ingredient, from the eggs to the Parmesan cheese, were from the dumpster, and I made this like beautiful elaborate meal. Okay, I probably bought the oregano, I'll be honest, but and I had them over for dinner, and they were like, "Oh, this is so good." And then afterwards, I was like, "You're welcome. That was for free."
So how does your future career path correlate to this lifestyle?
Well, I'm in a PhD program, and my focus is on the emotional and social well-being of high school students, and that totally relates to self-expression and basically being who you are, and anything that stands in your way, just moving it out of the way. Whatever holds a person back from just like being who they want, or asking the questions they're curious about, or having an adventure that they'd be too ashamed to have. That's the dialogue that I'm really passionate about.
Why is it that you care about this issue of food waste?
I definitely think in the United States we have a standard of, like a too high of a standard of living. You don't need the best of the best or the newest of the new. Like if the job is to, if you need a pair of shoes, the job is to keep your feet warm and maybe have a little style if it works out that way. But like whatever the job is, you don't have to have the highest standards to meet it.
Does this also involve food? Like how do you feel about, for example, the sell-by dates, or just maybe even some of the packaging that food comes in? How do you feel about that?
Definitely getting really passionate about it. So these companies have this high standard of flavor and like how they're going to be represented. So they put this sell-by date, and things get thrown away way too early because they don't want to be misrepresented if a person takes an apple pie home that's a couple days past its peak performance.
We accompanied Katie on a dive, and at 2 a.m. we were shocked by what we found.
Let's talk about the hunger problems worldwide. Do you think this is going to solve world hunger or help it at all? What do you think about that?
Now, I've done a lot of nonprofit work, so when it comes to international solving the problem of hunger, I'm just daunted. I don't know what the solution is. But in America, because I do feel like I know the system better and I live it every day, there shouldn't be hunger. And it's like, it kills me that I will be at like literally any place that closes at the end of the night that has to do with food, Dunkin' Donuts, a cafe, a restaurant, a grocery store, at the end of the night, they throw away so much of their stuff, and it's just not necessary, and it breaks my heart because I could ask them. Like I could be there at the right time in my place and say, "Hey, can I take this home?"
Good, right? Yeah, they all are totally good. We gotta be careful. There's some of, like, whatever spills on things, you gotta be careful. So there's eggs on some of this bag. But literally, I'll go home and I'll wash all these off and they'll be completely fine.
Yeah.
On the most basic level, how do you find your food or these used items?
Craigslist has been my new best friend. I'm such a fan of Craigslist. This coffee table, this couch, these pillows, the chairs, the majority of the furniture in here was all off Craigslist. So probably I'd say 70% of this apartment, like from the spoons to the furniture, are like gifted from people, leftovers.
My favorite of free purchases is the couch, which happens to also be an extra bed. It's a sleeper sofa. This coffee table I picked up on curbside. this dresser I got for free curbside.
If we lowered our standards a little bit in terms of the presentation of things, you could really, really use a lot more than we do on a daily basis.